Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, licensing officers must be treated with the same respect afforded to police officers. This is according to criminal attorney Fareed Ali in the wake of a viral confrontation involving a maxi taxi driver and licensing officers along the southern main road in Curep earlier this week. Now, I'm not saying what the man did was right. It's just that people understand the frustration a lot of citizens endure because of being targeted and disrespected and abused by both police officers and licensing officers, and of course now traffic wardens as well. He says the public often forgets that licensing officers perform a law enforcement function and should be treated accordingly. Didn't say anything about the manner in which the licensing officer behaved. My response, licensing officers should learn to conduct themselves in a professional manner instead of verbally abusing citizens, whether on the nation's roads or at the licensing office. These bullies should be mandated to wear body cams while on duty, just like police officers should be mandated as well. Don't go anywhere. More local, regional, and international news up next.
They are simply doing what they have to do and executing the law under the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act. We may not like the manner in which the law is being executed. We may think that some officials tend to be high-handed. But the job is a difficult job, and one has to do it.
His statement comes just 2 days after this video went viral, showing a confrontation between a maxi-taxi driver and licensing officers along the southern main road in Curep. The driver has since been arrested by police, charged with assault. Attorney Ali noted that motorists retain constitutional protections, but only when they remain within the law.
If it is we stay within the parameters of the law, meaning we, being civilians, we as drivers are the nation's rules, then these officers cannot in any way infringe on our right to life, liberty, security of person, and enjoyment of property. Meaning that
he also addressed the maxi-taxi driver in the viral video, noting that he should have filed an official complaint through the Maxi Taxi Association. He said a similar complaint pathway exists for motorists who are of the opinion that a licensing officer did not act with integrity.
You can simply file a complaint at the Ministry of Transport and Civil Agency that Officer A, Officer B, they are doing things and by course of their actions, victimizing members of the public who are operating in a high-handed manner.
He warned that licensing officers can be investigated and disciplined.
So if it is the investigation reveals that the officers acted in a manner that brought the civil service into disrepute by way of they breaching their code of conduct, then charges could be laid against any of the officers.
Travel in and out of Trinidad and Tobago just got easier, more convenient. From March the 17th, travelers will no longer need to fill out the traditional paper-based arrival and departure forms as the Ministry of Homeland Security launched our country's new online arrival departure card ADC platform on Wednesday. The new digital system will replace the paper-based forms travelers are required to complete when entering or leaving the country. Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander said the online platform will make the border crossing process faster and more efficient.
This has been long overdue. We have been left behind, somewhat primitively. But today is a new day. In fact, when you had paper-based situations to fill out, that was an era then. That era has come. Passengers will simply complete the online forms, upload to the biodata page of their passport, and receive a digital receipt with a QR code, which can be presented to the immigration and custom officers upon arrival or departure.
Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has returned home following her participation in the Shield of the Americas Summit in the United States. Upon arrival, the Prime Minister was warmly received by Acting Prime Minister and Minister of Works and Infrastructure, Jerlin John, hopefully the future leader of the United National Congress, along with members of the cabinet who gathered to welcome her back in Trinidad and Tobago. In a post to social media, the Prime Minister media pages, the Prime Minister said the government remains committed to advancing the interests of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, both at home and on the international stage. And yes, people, even though the Prime Minister is going against the Caribbean tribal leaders who only care about the obsession with our colonial past, our Prime Minister has decided, you know what, forget about tribalism, forget about the negative aspects of colonialism. We need America and other first world nations to invest in our country in order for us to be able to prosper again, in order to be able to stimulate the economy. We also need America, the most powerful nation in the world, to protect us from radical jihadist nations. And if once again, I will keep saying it, if Venezuela goes rogue again, because remember, the Maduro regime is still there, you know. It's just being controlled now by a new leader, right? But at the end of the day, it is still that communist party, it's the Chavez party is still in charge. And at any point in time, Delcy Rodriguez can decide to rebel against America again. And most likely Trump will then have to finish the job in Venezuela. Interim head coach of the Trinidad and Tobago senior men's football team, Derek King, says he plans to build on the progress made by former coach Dwight York during his tenure. I wonder how much they're paying this new coach and his team. King, who was appointed to the role following the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association and York mutually parting ways, hosted his final training session on Wednesday at the Manny Ramjan Stadium before the international friendly against Bolivia. The team is set to depart on Thursday for the March 15th away match in Bolivia. Of course, I'm wishing them all the best. Sadly, we know most likely what is going to be the outcome. Don't go anywhere. Regional news up next.
Right, this game is very important. You know, you go on, you're impressed. I think the bunch we had before for the World Cup campaign, that is within the FIFA window. And it's up to them, you know, go there and impress us and force the coaches to, you know, make a decision on.
Among King's group, which has 14 players under the age of 25 and 8 under the age of 20, is under-20 standouts Terrell Garcia, Adam Pear, and Linda Sween. Guiding the young players will be the experience of Alvin and Jovain Jones, Andre Rampasad, Ryan Telfer, Josiah Trimingham, and the returning Ross Russell Jr. King, who is serving as interim head coach for the second time, said that he will put his best foot forward when it comes to performing his duties.
Well, you know, I've worked with some good head coaches, you know, around the football for a bit. As I say, this is the opportunity arise, and I'm here now, so I'll give it my best shot. You know, I have a good Hudson Charles and the technical team. Our backroom staff is a very good team, a team that have been there for a bit, and we will give it our best shot.
On their match against Bolivia, King would like to see a brave performance from his troops, who hope to leave South America with a positive result. Adrian Lazar, TTT Sport.
With the government in Bahamas announcing that VAT will be removed from many essential food items starting April 1st, officials say they will closely monitor retailers to ensure the tax savings are actually passed on to consumers and not just absorbed into store profits. Some residents welcome the relief, while others question whether grocery prices will truly drop, because we all know that the supermarkets and them will just say, well, everything costs gone higher. But anyhow, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation Chester Cooper on Monday emphasized that the government will be watching the tills to ensure that VAT reductions on essential food items are fully passed on to Bahamian consumers. Speaking in Parliament during debate on the Value-Added Tax Amendment Bill 2026, Cooper said the measure is aimed at providing tangible relief for families struggling with the rising cost of living. So you see, actually isn't just happening here in Trinidad and Tobago. You know, PNM had loved to say that for the past 10 years. The government is absorbing a loss in revenue to provide this relief, Cooper said. We are cutting the tax, but we will also be watching the tills. Now, this is good news. I'm just wondering if it is being done because elections is right around the corner. But nevertheless, this is what we need to try to consider here in Trinidad and Tobago as well. The Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar regime is forgetting that their whole goal when coming into office was to reduce the cost of living, and yet now they're raising taxes, fees and fines. Let's just hope at some point in time when the economy starts to revive, they will either reduce those taxes or just leave it as it is and don't have to increase it yet again, and let people try to recover, please. A hospitality apprenticeship pilot program was launched yesterday at the Grenadine House. The program is being facilitated through the Ministry of Education and collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism and the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Hotel and Tourism Association. Remember, those smaller islands depend on what? Tourism to generate revenue, and yet they oppose the white man America, forgetting that is the same white man America they need to give them US dollars. Senior Education Officer with responsibility for TVET to vet Paulette Primus Hathaway noted that the apprenticeship program reflects a shared national commitment to bridging education and industry, empowering young people and strengthening the future of the country's hospitality and tourism sector. I hope that it teach the younger generation to stop thinking in a tribal ways, stop being so obsessed with your colonial past and be thankful for colonialism, because that's why you have a developing nation, a democratic nation, a civilized nation today.
As tourism continues to grow and diversify in our country, the hospitality and construction industries are evolving to meet new standards of service. This transformation requires a new generation of professionals who are well-trained, innovative, and ready to deliver excellent service. Today's launch focuses on about 88 trainees in the hospitality programs, drawn from over 30 communities across the 5 technical institutes. Additionally, trainees in the general construction program will be absorbed by JW Construction Company at a later date. Through this initiative, apprentices will participate in a dual training model. Each week, they will spend 3 days at their technical institutes, strengthening their theoretical and practical knowledge, and 2 days within the hotels and hospitality establishments, working alongside experienced professionals and gaining valuable hands-on exposure. This means that what is taught in the classroom can immediately be reinforced in the workplace. Skills learned at the Institute will come alive in real settings, in areas such as food preparation, food and beverage service, housekeeping, general office administration, cake baking and decorating, and general construction.
A women-led homestead greenhouse agricultural project in Tiger Bay, Guyana is expected to generate an estimated $1.9 million in revenue following an early harvest of celery just 6 weeks after the initiative was launched. President Dr. Irfan Ali shared a progress update on the project on Wednesday, highlighting the early success of the shade house demonstration at the One Guyana Kitchen on Main Street. It sounds very simple, eh? It's all about empowering all the peoples of Guyana to generate revenue on their own and all, to become self-employed, entrepreneurs and so forth. Development continues to take place in Guyana at a very significant or exponential rate. Residents of Cambridge and surrounding communities in St. James, Jamaica, many of whom are still reeling from the impact of Hurricane Melissa, recently got some much-needed infrastructural, medical, and psychosocial support last Saturday, thanks to the Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation Operation Grace initiative. Approximately 124 families benefited from Operation Care, which included gifts, relief, access, care, and engagement, which saw the NYFDF volunteers working alongside a local medical team from Cambridge Health Center to provide counseling and comfort to residents who lost their entire homes. Telling you, I've said it over and over again. I've seen videos from people that I follow from Jamaica, people that usually have like travel channels and stuff like that, and nature channels. And the guy was showing the entire homes underwater, you know. Tanisha Scott, one of the residents who benefited from the initiative, told the Jamaica Gleaner that she was glad for the outreach initiative, especially because citizens of Cambridge got very assistance in the early days following Melissa's devastation. It's all about being your brother's keeper, and this I see it over and over again as well. When it is Europe that loves to support Gaza, when it is Europe wants to help Jamaica and other islands in the Caribbean, don't loan any money, because I've never heard about you loaning any money to Gaza. Donate money to individuals who are democracies who need actual help. For the first time since coming under the Social Empowerment Agency, SEA, known as the SEA exams like in Trinidad, the month of the Disabled Health Fair was held at the agency's headquarters at Collymore Rock in Barbados, the former home of the National Disabilities Unit. The afternoon event offered free blood sugar, cholesterol, hypertension, and glaucoma testing, along with informational sessions on mental health. All important issues being addressed. Acting Director of the SEA, Wayne Nurse, outlined the activities and objectives of the initiative aimed at supporting the health and well-being of persons with disabilities. I'm sure that we have programs like that here in Trinidad and Tobago as well, but we need to even focus more on that, assisting the most vulnerable in society.
When it comes to glaucoma, sometimes there will not be any warning signs. Glaucoma, as we're discussing, is a painless disease. It causes blindness and in the advanced stages. But initially, you're not aware that this vision loss is happening because the vision loss occurs all in the outskirts on the periphery. So you're unaware that this vision loss is happening. And so it is important that you're screened and checked for glaucoma, and that's why we're promoting persons to be checked. This is why we're doing this screening fair, where we are checking pressures, which is a major risk factor for glaucoma.
What pressures?
Eye pressures. This is where it's a painless procedure where we check the pressure. We use a probe to help to check the pressure at the front of the eye, and that's where we're trying to determine whether or not there's any risk factor for glaucoma.
The tests that are being done today are blood sugars. We're also testing for patients' blood cholesterol, and we are also doing their blood pressures as well.
International news now. The Israeli Defense Force has begun a wide wave of strikes in Dahir in Beirut. Initial stage, the IDF has just started a wide wave of strikes against the infrastructure of the Hezbollah terrorist organization in Dahir in Beirut. Interception efforts continue at all times. The IDF will continue to act forcefully against the Hezbollah terrorist organization, which has decided to join the campaign and operate under the protection of the Iranian terror regime, or what remains of it. The IDF will not allow harm to the citizens of the State of Israel and will respond forcefully to any threat. Meanwhile, the entire world media continues to focus on what Israel is doing and the USA is doing in Iran, even though the Ayatollah regime is attacking their own allies. And the excuse is it has American bases in those countries. It does not matter. You talk about sovereign nations, but you're not telling the Ayatollah regime to stop attacking sovereign nations just because they have American bases in them. After being asked by the media if he was briefed about how many Iran sleeper cells there must be inside the US right now, President Trump said, "I have been, and a lot of people came in through Biden with his stupid open border. But we know where most of them are. We got our eye on all of them," he said. They came through the open border policies of Sleepy Joe Biden. one of the worst presidents in the history of our country, and we have got our eyes on all of them. And of course, mainstream media, as much as they praise and ignore the evils being perpetrated in Iran by the Ayatollah regime, they turn around and you know what they try to do? They try to instill fear into Trump supporters, people that support also democracy, and tell them, well, you know, it have Iranian sleeper cells in America. So, you know, Trump shouldn't be doing this because it will awaken these sleeper cells and then everybody's lives will be in danger. But if it is the Ayatollah regime is so wonderful, and if it is the Ayatollah supporters are so wonderful, what are you afraid of, my dear QAnon supporters, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and of course the alphabet soup phallus radicals? Well, we all know the jihadists and them. The jihadists and them will continue to support their own radical terrorists.
Have you been briefed about how many Iran sleeper cells there could be inside the U.S. right now?
I have been, and a lot of people came in through Biden with this stupid open border. But we know where most of them are. We've got our eye on all of them, I think.
Is it dozens?
They came in through the open border policies of Sleepy Joe Biden, one of the worst president in the history of our country. And we've got our eyes on all of them. But the war itself is being prosecuted at a level that nobody's seen before. It's pretty amazing to watch.
Now for the interesting facts segment, the biggest limitation of renewable energy, the fact that solar panels stop working when the sun goes down, has officially been solved. German architect Andre Brussel and his team at Raw Lemon have developed a revolutionary spherical lens that can harvest electricity from moonlight and even the thermal energy of the atmosphere. My goodness. This water-filled glass ball acts as a massive magnifying glass, concentrating light up to 10 times onto a small high-efficiency solar cell. The secret to its success is a dual-axis tracking system that allows the sphere to follow the moon and sun across the sky in a full 360-degree arc. Technology advances. And I think this is good technology, though, because the more that we can use renewable energy, it is definitely better for our climate and our respective countries, you know, people. I support still depending on the oil sector. Don't get me wrong. But I also believe that we need to be focused on renewable energy as well.
Welcome to Real Conservative News Travel Adventures. Kunming, known as China's City of Eternal Spring, is the capital of Yunnan Province, offering a pleasant, year-round, mild climate and a relaxed, laid-back atmosphere, unlike larger, frenetic Chinese cities. Situated at 1,800 m altitude, it serves as a gateway to southwest China, featuring beautiful parks, historic temples, and vibrant
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news report. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe, most of all, in Jesus' name.